Assalamualaikum and hi there. I'm Shikin Aziz. In this video, I will explain water requirements for food manufacturing industry. I believe everybody knows water is an organic chemical substance which is transparent, tasteless, odorless characteristics. I'm sure you know that our beautiful planet, Earth, is a watery place with 71% of Earth is covered by water. And water is a precious organic substance as it is vital for all living things including us. In sanitation field, water is the best cleaner. It removes most of the soils and carries them away. Water also dissolves detergent, sanitizers, and distributes them over the surfaces to meet the cleaning or sanitation target. Actually, no other component is more important to the cleaning process than water. Water can also be worst enemy in the cleaning and sanitation of food plants. The microorganisms and natural chemicals in the water will drastically and negatively affect both the cleaning and sanitation processes. Water is also food, and should be treated before utilized as ingredient in food or beverage manufacturing process, and it is also a main component for cleaning and sanitation. Due to this, a complete water analysis by a chemical laboratory should be done, periodically in every food and beverage plant. In food production, water with higher quality is required. Water with higher quality is required. There are legally enforceable standards guidelines that apply to public water system in Malaysia and are very similar to the standards of other countries and World Health Organization. Here are among the main documents which are used for reference in Malaysia for guidelines on drinking water. All the documents can be easily accessed from the internet. Here I include here in my video the hyperlink to access the document for your reference later on. Alright. Okay, let's see the contents of document of guideline for drinking water quality, which is published by World Health Organization. Alright, so this is the guidelines. Alright, let me enlarge for you. Oh no, before we enlarge, this guideline is it consists of 595 pages. It's quite thick. It's considering quite thick, detailed, very detailed, and it sounds like textbook. It sounds like textbook, which is good actually. Alright, which is good. It has a detailed explanation about. Let me show the contents. Okay, it's easy to explain by referring to the contents. Which can be considered skeleton of these documents. Where are you? Right. So this is published in 2006. I think I need to enlarge now the page. Alright. So this document begins with introduction. Alright. Some introduction about the contaminations in water, the consideration of contaminants in water, and the principles, the principle of the contamination, the contaminants. So under this document, they have been categorized the contaminants in water into these 5 groups: microbial aspects, disinfection, contaminants due to disinfection, chemical aspect, radiological aspects, and acceptability aspect. I'm going to explain details 4 of these these aspects. Disinfection is basically I categorize it under chemical aspects too. Alright. And then it explains the roles and responsibilities in drinking water safety management. Who are involved? Those that involve in water management, water supplies. Alright, so you may look here. There are several agencies. Alright. And then this is including the authorities and the private agencies. Okay, and then it provides the following chapters. They provide the framework for safe drinking water. Alright, so this framework is very good guideline in order to avoid water contamination, and in order to reduce the water contamination, and also how to deal if, let's say, there is the water has been contaminated. Alright, so it's like SOP, standard operation procedures, where those involved with this water industry can follow. Alright, and can use as a guidelines. Alright. And then there is a guideline for verification. Okay, the guideline for verification. Alright, the national drinking water policies, how to setting the national standard, the laws, regulations and standards. So basically it provide the guideline what should be there, okay, what should be included, what contents, okay, what contents that should be highlighted inside the legislation documents. Alright, then health based target. Alright, so this is explanation. Good things about this document is, if let's say they identify there are certain element of contaminants, okay, it's hazardous to health, then it provide the explanation, the justification why, and what study that has been done. Alright, so if you want to know more details about whatever I'm telling inside this video, because I'm not going to give you too detailed explanation on this, okay, because I'm not a water expert. Alright, but you can refer this document, okay, for your work. Alright, and I really recommend this document. And for your information, people been using this guideline, WHO, not people, actually the other countries are using this guideline before they setting up their legislation for water. Alright, there is also actually inside this document there are 12 chapters. Okay, I continue explaining the content inside this document. There is a water safety plans. Alright, I'm sure those that familiar with GMP, HACCP standard plan and other standards plan will know that under safety plan they will include the definition of the processing, the monitor, and then what is the monitoring, and how you maintain it, and how you verify your procedure. Okay, so, and then the record keeping, and then how you the management responsibility, those things inside under the water. This is under water, what is it, the water safety plans. Alright, and then there is a chapter for surveillance. Alright, there is a chapter for, then chapter 6 is for guideline in specific circumstances. Alright, so these guidelines can be used for large building application, for emergencies and disasters, and it also can be used for safe drinking water for travelers, desalination system, package drinking water, food production and processing, for food factory, food plant, aircraft and airports, and for ships, okay. Alright, and then chapter 7, this document starts, okay, explaining into detail all the contaminants aspects, including chapter 7 for microbial aspects, and then chapter 7, chapter 8 is chemical aspects, then chapter 9 I think is for radiological aspects, and chapter 10 for acceptability aspects. Alright, and then followed with chapter 11 and chapter 12, which is provide the fact, the fact of the biological, the biological and the chemical contaminants, the detail, the list. So for the chapter microbial aspect, the chemical aspect and radiological aspects, basically the contents defines the hazards inside the under each categories, and then explain into detail how they identify that hazard can bring adverse effect to health, and then it also explaining how to treat the water and how to verify the method and how to detect the contaminants and what others, and then it also provide identifying local action in response to the contaminations. Alright, I would like you to have a look. Okay, same thing goes for chemical aspect and microbiological aspect. That basically about that as I explained just now. That contents that I explained just now, that is about generic contents for other chapters 7 for the chapters contaminant aspects. And then where I'm going, alright, this is microbial fact sheets. Now chapter 11 and chapter 12 is about microbial fact sheets. So if you look at these contents, okay, they list all the bacteria, that the microorganism that may harm the water supply. For microbial fact sheet, they provide I cannot sum apa ni total up right now, because it has been categorized into several group of microorganism, pathogens, viral, bacteria, so they include most of the bacteria that has been verified, the effect, the harmful effect from this bacteria, from this microorganism. And same goes with chemical fact sheets. Okay, it lists it provide a long list of chemical contaminants, chemical contaminants, okay, that has been proved and that has been recognized. This chemical will have effect on health. Alright, okay, alright. So let's look on, okay, what the information. I would like to give you some example here for the chemical. Alright, okay, so like for this chemical, under the what they call just now, the fact sheet, for this chemical, it define the chemical name, and it give the chemical code numbers, and it telling here that how this chemical can be derived, how where this chemical come from, and then inside the fact sheet it provide the guideline value, alright, the occurrence, the basis of guideline derivation, the limit of detection, treatment achievability, and then there is some toxicological review of this chemical, and then there is provide some background of the guideline development. Alright. So as I said, this is a very good document, very detailed and good, if let's say you have work on this field. Alright, now let's look on Malaysia. Malaysia standard. This is under Ministry of Health, Malaysia, national standard for drinking water quality. Alright, this. Okay. So this document is not too detailed. The page numbers is only 26 pages. Okay, and then but why is not too detailed? Because some of the statement inside this standards is how to say, will require you to refer the guideline that has been published by World Health Organization. Alright. Okay, this is the contents. Basically, it begins with some introduction, definition of term, and then it define the raw water quality criteria, drinking water quality standard, and then a procedure that recommended for achieving the drinking water quality standards. Alright, this is the procedures. Alright. And then there is some requirements on reporting of result, record keeping, and data evaluation. Alright. So let's look. Okay, let's look on the introduction here. Okay, it's saying here that water for drinking, culinary, and other domestic use should be safe, palatable, and aesthetically appealing. Right. So basically, this document aims to set limits to constituents, right, that may be present in water. Okay. Which may be hazardous to health, or objectionable to the physical sense of the consumer. So it's not only considering that contaminants is that hazard to health, but also if let's say that is not acceptable under the consumer how to say preference, something like that. So and this standard may be used by these users, water authorities, Ministry of Health, Department of Chemistry, Department of Environment, right, other agencies, public organisation, and private organizations. So private organisation including the food factories like us, that people like for this field, alright, and alright. So here, this is the statement where saying that, okay, in drawing up this guideline, alright, this reference has been used. This reference been used. So those who are interested in the rationale by which recommended standard values were derived, okay, the rationale, why this data has been derived, alright, you need to refer WHO if you want to know why, alright, because in this standard they provide a table. Actually, they provide a table as a guidelines. Where is it? Okay, they provide the I would like to show you the table. Okay. There is also inside this standard is it explain the safety plan, water safety plan. Alright. Okay, they provide a recommended raw water quality criteria, frequency of monitoring. So if you look at this table, alright, most of the criteria of the quality of water here, alright, and the source of reference, most of it are come from WHO document, WHO documents. So that's why I said is look. The document is not too comprehensive, because if you want to know the detail of this document, the rationale of all of this data, all of this guideline, technical spec inside this standard, you may need to refer WHO guidelines. Alright. So they provide the physical characteristic, the chemical characteristic of water, and the radiological characteristic inside this. Right. Okay. And this is microbiological. Alright, microbiological characteristic, drinking water quality standard and frequency of monitoring. So right. So in this table, it provide the maximum acceptable value, alright, and then the frequency of monitoring. Okay. Alright. So this is basically I just want to give you some rough idea about the contents inside the Malaysia standard. Alright, Malaysia drinking water standard. Alright, then other document, the importance in that has been used for identifying the quality of the water and the requirements of the water for food industry is can be found from this website, Food Safety and Quality Division. Right, under this Food Safety and Quality Division, alright, this is what division under Ministry of Health Malaysia. Alright, they has established Food Act. Alright, Food Act. Okay, so Food Act. Alright, so this legislation, okay, this legislation is to protect the public health hazards and fraud in the preparation, sale and use of food, and any incidental related to food. Alright, so but basically inside this document, it has the law, the law statement, the legislation statement, the policy. But in order to check the water carrier in food manufacturing, alright, you need to refer. Okay, this is the law statement. The content you may have looked. Alright, later you can visit this website if you want to know more details about this. Okay. Alright, but you need to refer the subsidiary, okay, of Food Act, okay, which is, let me open for you. Okay, so if you visit this website, okay, there is a tab for legislation where it lists all the legislation under the Ministry of Health, alright, under the Food Safety and Quality Division. So if you would like to have a look to get an idea what is the water requirement for food industry, you need to access food regulation. Okay, these food regulations, and then in this regulation, alright, take some time. Okay, and then there is document here you can easily download or you can view. So now I can view this, and for this one, they separate. Okay, they separate the schedule. Okay, schedule is the table, guidelines tables. So I will open the food regulation first. Okay, alright, so in this regulation there are guidelines that they detect, okay, how the provision of the act are applied. Okay, alright, so let me go direct to the page, the page that may interest us. Okay, this is the regulation, the part of the regulation 394. Okay, which is for standard for wholesome water or steam. It is stated here that water shall be clean and free from contamination, objectionable taste and odor, and shall comply with the standard as prescribed in the 25th A schedule. Alright, later we will have a look on this. Alright, so in this regulation 394 as well, it states that the steam shall be product derived from water that complies with the standards prescribed in the sub-regulation 1. Okay, and then it's mentioned here, no person shall use. Okay, when we refer to word shall means it's required. It must, you must follow. So the no person shall use, cause or permit to be used any water or steam in the preparation or manufacture of any food for sale unless that water or steam complies with the standard. So the water should be complies with the standard. So how to check the water is complied with the water? So as the prescribed in the 25th A schedule. Okay, alright. So okay, and there is also says another statement that saying here that no person shall cause or permit any water or steam to come into contact with a food for sale in the course of its preparation, storage, delivery or exposure for sale unless the water or steam comply with the standard prescribed in this regulation. Okay, you can see it has a very strict requirement for water being used in food industry. Alright, so now let's look on the 25th A schedule. Okay, I need to close this and then we need to view this other document in this table. Alright, full screen. Okay, alright. So okay, here is here is the 25th A schedule. Alright, where in this schedule, basically this looks like this is a table. For informally we saying table, but in legislation they call this schedule. Okay, please, I hope this is not confusing you. Alright, in this schedule, this is schedule for sub-regulation 394 that I have read just now. So it categorizes the the characteristic of the water into physical standard. Alright, for physical standard they have a pH, color, turbidity. Basically this physical standard is telling you the acceptability of the consumer. This is under acceptability aspect if you refer to WHO documents. And then chemical standards, okay, it gives you a long list of chemical. Alright, I cannot memorize this because this is not my I'm not practicing on this. Okay, alright, and then the third category is bacteriological standard. Alright, so in this table basically it provide you the maximum permitted proportion for all these contaminants that may present in the water. And then there is also radiological aspect here, the radioactivity. Right. Okay, for bacteriological, it provide the method. Okay, it telling that the method that been used for identifying, for quantifying the microbes inside the water. Alright. Okay, so that's it for this. Alright, I think I'm explain a bit too detail for this, but I have to give you a clear picture. Alright. Okay. That showing this where by showing this document, all of the standard and legislation, you should know by now that food and beverage industry has more stringent standards requiring the water to be treated before utilized. Alright, so WHO guidelines, alright, provide details aspect in considering the quality of water, as I said before this. Okay, one of it is microbial aspect, and this microbial aspect is microbial aspects are classified into pathogenic bacteria, viruses, parasites that can cause infectious disease, While for chemical aspects, the chemical contaminants may occur naturally as it is released, released from rocks, soil, alright, by rainfalls, and some are released from industrial sources, for example, like from mining, manufacturing, and processing industries, a few leakage, right, and some may come from human dwellings like houses, this is like from sewage, solid waste, and chemical contaminants also can be contributed from agricultural activities such as manures, fertilizers, intensive animal practices, and pesticides. Okay. Okay. And other things, water treatment, even though we treated the water treatment or material in contact with drinking water may also provide contaminants, may also create other contaminants such as coagulants and piping materials. And please note that we also use pesticides for treated water. Alright, for example, like larvidice. Larvidice is used to control of insects vectors of disease. And then here, cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria will also will also produce chemical. Cyanobacteria is a blue-green algae normally found naturally in all types of water. A cyanobacteria alga bloom can be harmful when the toxin which is cyanotoxins produced in air and water, and the toxin concentration may reach danger concentration which can harm people, marine life, and the environment. Alright, now let's look radiological aspect. Alright, environmental radiation originates from a number of naturally occurring and human-made sources. Radioactive materials occur naturally everywhere in the environment. For example, like uranium, thorium, and actually the largest proportion of human exposure to radiation come from naturally sources. Alright. Well, basically the microbial, radiological, and chemical are the undesirable aspects of drinking water that are capable to give direct adverse impact on public health, where thorough study have been done to prove that. Alright, beside these three aspects, there are also acceptability aspects, alright, as demand by consumer, which are appearance, taste, odor. Alright, so in addition to health effects, alright, water characteristic is also used are also used to examine the suitability of the water to be used in cleaning and disinfection. This I leave here the list of physico-chemical characteristics of water that will affect the cleaning sanitation process, but I think this video is too lengthy already. Alright, to know how these characteristics affect the sanitation efficiency, you need to watch my next video. Alright, okay, see you again guys, and thank you for watching. Bye.